Welcome to Beyond the Front Page, a show brought to you by Community College and put on Spectrum, Verizon, Fios, as well as ARMA, the Auburn Regional Media Access, as well as Win 89.1, the college's radio station. I'm your host, Guy Cosentino. One of the alternatives to public schools in Auburn and Cayuga County is Tyburn Academy, located on the west side of Auburn. Founded in 1992, it provides education for 7th through 12th graders. We are delighted to have back in the studio their principal, Connor O'Donnell, and two students who came in off break. We should say this, they came in off of spring break for the local schools. They are junior Mary McGinn and sophomore Isaac Sabo to talk about the school and a recent trip to Rome, which we'll talk about at the end. Welcome back to Beyond the Front Page, and welcome to both of you. So we'll talk a little bit about basics from the perspective of the school, but how long have you both been going to Tyburn?
I'm finishing up my second year at Tyburn.
And you're a sophomore?
I'm a junior.
Junior, I'm sorry. Junior, you're a sophomore. How long have you been going?
I'm also finishing out my second year at Tyburn.
So where are you roughly from? You're not Auburn residents, correct?
No, I live in Jordan, Elbridge area.
I'm from Scipio Center.
I am assuming you don't live in Auburn. You don't provide overnight housing.
No.
So what's the drive in? What time does school start for you both?
It's about a 20-minute drive for me.
It's a 15-minute drive from me.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Tyburn, just so those who may. I know you were here last year, and you brought two different students last time.
Mm-hmm.
How many students are at Tyburn?
Enrollment is currently at 64.
Is that up or down?
It's holding steady from last year.
And how long have you been at Tyburn?
I am finishing up my 10th year at the school.
And you have been principal for what, 4 years?
3. This is the end of the third.
End of the third. What did you were a teacher there first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What were you teaching?
I was teaching history, philosophy and theology, and then occasionally PE.
Okay. Are you teaching anything now as principal?
Yes, I'm teaching theology to the juniors and seniors.
Okay. So what is the what do students at Tyburn learn class-wise, education-wise, versus what they would learn at a public school?
Sure. So the biggest and most obvious difference would be there's theology classes every year where students learn more about the faith and also work on deepening their relationship with God. But then aside from being Catholic, we're also classical. So if you attend Tyburn in middle school, you actually study Greek, and it's an amazing thing to watch an 8th grader read a Greek manuscript. I think I'll never stop enjoying seeing that sight. And then also in the high school, Latin is part of the core curriculum, and we also have logic, rhetoric, and introduction to philosophy class as well.
So those would be considered all classic studies.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So for the two of you, because you're a sophomore, you're a junior, what are you studying now that you wouldn't have studied in a public school?
Intro to philosophy, as you mentioned.
So what does that contain? What do you do in there?
We study the ancient philosophers. So right now we're covering St. Thomas Aquinas, and we get to study in a deeper level, and it's pretty cool to learn stuff that we wouldn't learn outside of Tyburn.
And what are you studying is in the 10th grade?
Well, one of them, rhetoric. Yeah, I'm learning rhetoric.
So for those who don't know
doing.
what rhetoric is, other than if they've ever challenged an 11-year-old, what is rhetoric for a sophomore?
Rhetoric right now, we're learning about the art of speaking well. I think that's what rhetoric is. And so we're learning about different logical fallacies, such as ad hominem and parts of whole fallacy, stuff like that.
And so that's a full year? Is that only a full year, 1 year course?
Yeah, it's a full year, twice a week.
And you mentioned faith formation. You do not need to be a Roman Catholic, though, to go to Tyburn, correct?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
Not to out Isaac, but Isaac is our
Protestant.
our non-Catholic representative.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, so I was going to say, of your school, how many are Roman Catholics and how many are not? Do you have that? Right?
Yeah, it's roughly 65% are Catholic, and then about another 25% are non-Catholic Christian, and then the remaining percentage come from families that just different mix of backgrounds.
So what I'm saying is you might get a Catholic education because that's part of the curriculum, but you do not Do you do prayer services? Do you do mass?
We do, yeah. So we have Mass once a week, and on Mondays, actually, we begin the week with a school assembly in our chapel with a little reflection. And in terms of students who come to the school that aren't Catholic, we just have a conversation with the families up front, acknowledging it, and we just ask for, the student and the family maintains the respect towards the liturgy.
So do they participate in those, or are they exempted from it if they ask?
No, so they're not exempt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how large a teaching staff do you have?
We have 6 full-time teachers and then about 13 part-time.
I also know you both do sports, so you're doing soccer?
Yeah.
How long have you played soccer?
I've played soccer before. I've been playing it for a while. I did it before I came to Tyburn. I'd say 4 years.
And
4
you're
years of
playing
soccer.
2 sports as well?
Correct.
And what are they?
Volleyball and basketball.
And did you play them before you came to Tyburn?
I did.
You did.
Yes.
So how many sports does Tyburn host?
So we currently have 3 varsity teams for both boys and girls, soccer, basketball, and volleyball. And we do have a relationship with Auburn High School where if a student athlete wants to participate in an individual sport, say track, cross country, then the athletic department is open for them to join and practice with the team, but
So they
compete as a Tyburn student.
And they compete as a Tyburn student.
Yes.
And it should go without saying, there's a fee for coming to Tyburn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Tuition, yeah.
what's your tuition?
Tuition for next year is $6,825 for the high
And
school.
do you get a discount if you have multiple family members?
Yes, you get a 50% discount if you have a sibling, and you also receive a discount if you take an exchange student as well.
And do you have many exchange students?
We have one this year.
Where are they from?
She is from Spain. Her name is Pilar. She's a junior and pretty bright kid. Yeah.
And will she just stay this 1 year?
Yeah, it's just a 1-year exchange program.
Do you get many, I know you do a very big event at St. Mary's at the end of the semester or end of the year. Will she graduate with the class even though she's not a senior? Do you do something with her at church?
Before COVID, it was a tradition that the students would walk, the exchange students would walk across the stage and receive a certificate. So we're still, restarting the exchange program since COVID. So I'll have to figure that out with what she wants.
I wasn't going to mention COVID, but you did.
No.
So you're up.
It happened,
So
yeah.
it did happen. Is anything not the same for Tyburn, or are there things that you made changes that you haven't gone back over to change back yet?
I think the biggest change was, as much as people didn't like the online learning experience, there were definitely some tools that were picked up along the way that I think are still, I'd say, a feature that are just kind of now integrated with the education.
Well, if anybody's going to
yeah.
Columbia right now, they're doing online as of this morning. So
Really?
They
Oh,
are.
wow.
So
Okay.
because of some of the protests there and safe environment. So I don't mind. Want to ask you a little bit about how did you pick to go to Tyburn, or did your parents? You have siblings who you have older siblings that went, or who had older siblings?
I had older siblings.
So
that
how
had gone.
much older are your siblings?
My oldest sibling, pretty sure he's 23 right now.
Okay, so a while ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
and yours are?
My younger sister goes to Tyburn.
And what grade is she in?
She's a year below me. She's a sophomore.
She's a sophomore. So did you pick to go to Tyburn? Did your parents? Was it a mutual conversation? How did that come about that you picked Tyburn?
Well, my dad grew up in Catholic education, so it was pretty important for him. So Catherine, my younger sister, she switched before me in the middle of my freshman year, and she loved Tyburn. So I got to know the community, and so I wanted to end up going in September of my sophomore year.
Okay. How about you?
My two older siblings went, and my parents made this thing. It's like, you're not allowed to go to school, really, until you're in high school. So I was like, I want to go to Tyburn when I get old enough.
So were you homeschooled before that?
Yes, I was
okay.
homeschooled.
And you mentioned one sibling. How old's the other sibling?
She is, oh gosh, no. I think
Just
she's-
remember her birth date, okay?
Yeah, I'm having trouble with that.
She's 20.
20.
20, okay.
Okay.
So recent, okay. So what do you, I'll start with you and then come to Ms. McGinn. What do you think you get out of Tyburn that you would not have if you were either homeschooled or went to, is that Southern Cayuga School District? Where you are?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, Southern Cayuga.
Well, you learn so much because I'm Protestant, and so at home we're just learning about our side. We're like, okay, just talking about our side of the theology. But when you're going over there, you're learning so much. It's so good to know because a lot of people, they don't take time to learn about the other branches of Christianity, so it's good to go there, learn about it. I
And how
enjoy.
about for you? What does Tyburn give you that you would not have gone if you were in the Jordan Elbridge School District?
So I actually did go to Jordan Elbridge for multiple years, and the main difference that I find is, like Isaac said, you learn any subject really through multiple views, but at, I would say, any public school, you only learn it through one, the easiest or the most popular, and sometimes it goes against my beliefs, but at Tyburn you get a multiple views of it. So.
Do you have a favorite course or a favorite teacher?
Uh,
Leave him out of this.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He does not count. He gets a free pass.
I really like math at Tyburn, and I'm taking pre-calc right now, and Mrs. Rior teaches it, and she also teaches it at CCC.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Cool. And what about you? Favorite
I-
course or?
I enjoy taking theology for the same reasons I stated before, and my favorite teacher is probably Miss Sabo. She's pretty cool.
Is she any relation?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
What would she be?
Mother.
Mother. Okay. So you have the easiest ride to school because no.
Nah.
Oh,
no,
shit.
I still get on the bus.
You still get on? Okay. Is there a favorite thing you do at Tyburn that you wouldn't do in a public school or at homeschooling?
Every January we go down to the March for Life, and I can tell you no public school would send you down there.
Okay.
And that's really cool because we get to be surrounded by kids our age from all over the country supporting that one topic.
Anything for you that stands out for Tyburn that you really like?
Yeah, same thing as Mary, the March for Life. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was still homeschooled, I don't think.
Okay.
So.
And I know Fridays are different. Do you still do different things on Fridays at school?
No, so we switched up the Fridays to be
Okay.
regular academic days. Yeah.
So let me just assume I'm a sixth grader. I'm a little grayer hair than a normal sixth grader. But if I was thinking whether I was at Jordan Elbridge or I was at Southern Cayuga or Auburn, why should I go to Tyburn?
I would say at Tyburn it's very hard to fall behind in your academics because it's a bit smaller, obviously. So the teachers care more about you and will spend more time going one-on-one if you're falling behind, and they'll make sure that you understand the material before they move on so you don't get behind.
How about for you?
I really like the community there. It's great. You're just there. It's a small school, so you're kind of forced to get along with everyone, but everyone's your friend there.
There's no choice.
It's great.
So if I'm doing my math right, are most classes about 20 per grade?
So the average is about 12.
About 12,
Yeah,
okay.
12.
So in doing that, one-on-one is a bigger component then
Definitely.
than you would
Yeah.
get in a public school.
Absolutely.
I'll ask you both, but I'm going to start with you because you're a junior. What's your plan 2 falls from now?
I'm not sure, but I've been looking into a few things like aeronautics,
Okay.
or dentistry. But I have a CLT life prep class once a week. So
Sorry,
CLT life prep.
what is that?
So CLT is a new test that colleges look more into,
Oh, okay.
kind of like the SAT. And so that class has been helping me to plan my future.
Okay. So sciences and math sound like your your focus. So you have 3 falls to go.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea what you want to do?
I was thinking maybe go to like Cedarville College somewhere in Ohio or whatnot. Maybe go there. I don't know what I would get a degree for or whatnot.
Do you have a major you're looking at? Not a major. Is there a profession you would like to do?
I think it would be cool to be a pastor.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's what my dad was, and so I've always wanted to do it just since I was little, and I still want to do it still.
Okay. And how many people are in your family, of your siblings, are involved in religious education?
Let's
Of the
see.
99 brothers and
Of
sisters
the 9,
you have?
yeah, of the 9, you were close enough. Yeah, so about 5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that influence was skimming over there a little bit.
No, I mean
So,
there's definitely a family trade, right?
for you.
Yeah. Well, I think in general.
And I should say, I'm very good friends with your father-in-law. We've been friends since high school, and I do know a little bit about you separately. So a couple quick questions about placement. So obviously, a junior, a sophomore, where do you place students? After they leave Tyburn, where do they go?
Yeah, so we have some students who end up going to RIT, Roberts Wesleyan. Some have gone to Syracuse. Some going to here at CCC, and then Lemoyne. Lemoyne is another popular pick. St. John Fisher, Franciscan University of Steubenville, Christendom College, Belmont Abbey down in South Carolina. Yeah.
Okay. And you've been around long enough, or the school's been long enough around. Where do many those students who started in 1992 when it
Yeah.
was started? That's 30 plus years ago. Where have they ended up? Have some of them ended up back at the school to teach? Have some of them ended up back in this community, or they've gone beyond the broad shoulders of just Cayuga County?
Yeah, a mix of both. So we do have 2 alumni who are currently teachers, Mr. Yankton and Mr. Fayola. Mr. Matthew Fayola, he was a little basketball star. Not little, I mean he's tall, but he had some popularity back in the day when he was in high school with that. And then we have students who have gone on to, we have one alumnus who is practicing constitutional law. I think he's out in Ohio. And then a couple others that have moved down south.
And with them, do any of them who were graduates, do they send their children to Tyburn?
Yes, yeah. Last year we had our first child of an alumnus graduate, Dominic
cool.
Jones, yeah.
Okay. I know you have some new things that are occurring on campus. You are on Clymer, at the old St. Mary's School for those who are looking for geography. You have some new college offerings, correct?
Yes, correct, yeah. So we have a new relationship with Franciscan University of Steubenville. So similar to the CCC Advantage program that's here, we still have that, but this is, the program's called Franciscan Advantage, and it's essentially expanding the amount of college credit courses that we can offer. So now more history classes, philosophy, theology, and science classes can now be college credit bearing if the student passes a college level midterm and final.
And do your students also take AP courses?
Yeah, we do have AP.
So for those who may not know the difference, I don't want to get technical, but what's the difference between an AP course and then, let's say, so I'm assuming you offer some Cayuga classes.
Right, yes.
What do you offer from Cayuga?
Pre-calc, calculus, Spanish 101, English 101 and 102, and...
So how are they different? President Duran and I have this discussion all the time up on our floor to try to explain it to people. What's the difference between an AP course and a college course,
Right.
whether Franciscan or Cayuga?
In my personal preference, one is much better than the other, being the Advantage course, because with an AP class, it's all contingent on that one test at the end of the year, and whether you score 3 out of 5 on that test, and then it's still up for grabs whether or not the college you're interested in
So
going
you
to
prefer
wants
the
to take it.
college?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you get the focus is passing the course, right? It's not all. I think, I'm not the biggest proponent of end all be all exams at the end of the year for students. And with an advantage course, you don't have to deal with that stress or pressure. And so the student can actually just take the class, pass the course, and earn the college credit from the institution. Like CCC or with Franciscan, they'll receive a Franciscan University transcript of their own that they can take and present.
So are you taking pre-calc now as a college class? Are you
Yes.
So how many college classes are you taking?
Just that one.
Just that one. So are you in part 1, part 2? I don't know what pre-calc is. Is it pre-calc 101, 102? What are you taking now?
I'm in the second part of.
Okay. Did
pre-calc.
you
106.
take
Yes,
Did you take one previously?
I did, yes.
How'd you do?
Pretty good.
Enough so that you're taking
Correct.
the
yeah,
next
I
one. Okay.
passed.
So I know you're also changing a little bit. You've got some new things. First seal for biliteracy for graduates. What's that?
Yeah, so it's during National World Languages Day at BOCES, they have students from the surrounding school districts come and give a presentation in a second, in some instances in a third language, to earn a seal upon their high school diploma that the student has gone above and beyond to
And
demonstrate
how does
their.
that benefit a student?
Well, if you are bilingual, I think there's just a lot of natural benefits that can accrue with that. But it is a prestigious and rare
So
achievement.
are you both taking foreign languages now?
I used to take Spanish. I took about 4.5 years of Spanish.
And how about you?
I took 1 year of Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know
Latin-
we talked about.
Latin.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was just saying Latin too. But
Latin 2.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Latin 3 that's always the trouble. Latin 1 and 2 are fine. It's 3 because I know. No, we won't get into that. So you do faith formation.
Yes.
But you also are dealing with, you and I've talked on the side about the issue of responsibility and leadership. How is Tyburn working in those areas?
Yeah, it's, well, it kind of starts at the top, being able to recognize and take responsibility for what happens, okay, and taking ownership of situations. So I joke with my teachers, there's no bad students, there's bad teachers, and there's no bad teachers, there's only bad principals. So
At least you're being inclusive.
right, yeah, right. That's my goal. So the idea is that if when you're facing a situation or a problem, learning to examine the problem from the perspective of what can I do to change and correct this, rather than blaming other people for your issues. And so if we can do that together as a faculty and a staff, then that's the same message that we pass on to the students to
And how
drive
about
home with them.
leadership?
Well, leadership is about being able to take accountability, and grow.
And for the first time, you're doing honors and capstone projects, correct?
Yes.
So
yeah.
everyone understands honors. What's a capstone project?
So a capstone project is a large paper or a large presentation on paper. So at Tyburn, it's going to be a 20-page essay that the student will work on throughout the course of the year.
As a senior.
As a senior, yes.
So you're off the hook
For
Until
now.
next year.
until
Yeah.
next year. Okay.
And then, which is then followed by a presentation to the community. So, as I'd mentioned, I wasn't the biggest fan of standardized tests and tests at the end of the year that are the end-all, be-all. And there's a couple different reasons, so we don't need to go down those rabbit holes, but one of the alternatives to standardized tests is student performance in a public presentation, I've never gotten a lot of life skills out of filling out bubbles in a sheet, but certainly with public speaking, that is an
So how
important
many
asset
of your
to have.
seniors are, all of your seniors are doing it this year?
So Mary's actually part of the first cohort, so
Do you know
their
what your
class will be the
paper's
first
on?
one.
No, I haven't decided yet, but I've been thinking about something to do with mathematics, maybe about NASA's moon landing.
Very cool. All right. I want to ask you about Rome, because you just got back. In fact, we were trying to set you up a couple of weeks ago to come here, and you texted me and said, I'm in Rome. And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't know that. You just got back from Rome 2
Yep.
weeks ago.
Yes.
How many of your students went?
We had about 12 students on the trip,
And how long did you go for officially?
10 days.
10 days. So what did you do while you were in Rome?
We went and saw a lot of churches and a lot of the places that we've learned about in school, but being able to be there and see them is really life-changing.
So did you do tours where you had tour guides who walked you through?
Yep.
did you do a papal audience?
We did, yeah. It was the
So
first
for
thing,
those who
yeah.
may not know what a papal audience is, A, tell us what that is, and then B, tell us what you did.
Sure. So every Wednesday, the Pope holds a general audience where he'll, recognize the pilgrims who've come to Rome in every different language on earth for the groups that are there. And then he has a short, lesson that he
So he
teaches on for
gives
that
a
day.
homily
Yeah, he gives
for
a
that day?
homily.
And
Yeah.
so was Tyburn recognized there?
We were just recognized as the pilgrims from America. Was in
Pilgrims,
general.
okay.
Yeah.
Can't list everybody.
No.
So was this the first trip to Rome for Tyburn?
This was our second.
And how often do you do it?
So right now we're debating to do it every other year or every 3 years. Again, it was we had begun pre-COVID, and then COVID put a hold on things. So this was the first return to Europe
Okay.
since then.
And was it mainly juniors and seniors? Is there an age cutoff for this?
No, there's no age cutoff. If a student's in 7th grade, it'd be we'd want the parent definitely to attend the
Okay.
trip with them.
Did
But
many parents go on this trip?
yes, we did. Yeah, we had a very nice
So they
adult to
weren't
student
among the 12.
ratio.
So it was 12 students.
12 students and then about another 10 adults on the trip.
And you said the food was good.
Oh yeah,
All right.
excellent.
And so did you do a non-religious visits as well? I think we talked before.
Yes.
You went to Spanish Steps.
Mm-hmm.
Where else did you go?
The Coliseum.
The forum.
Oh yeah.
Across the street.
fountain.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
So worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
So how important is travel in your mind as the principal of the school for Tyburn?
Yeah, well, I think Mary hit the nail on the head with it when she said that it was amazing and powerful to walk in the places that you've been learning about. So another place we visited was where Caesar got assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just incredible having, you might read in Shakespeare or you study in history class and then you're walking
So are
right
you
by
reading,
where it happened.
I guess, are you reading Shakespearean plays at Tyburn?
We read a few in English class this year.
You did, okay. So what are you studying in English right now?
In
for you?
English, we're doing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We're doing
A Jules Verne book?
Yep, Jules
Okay.
Verne. We're also doing research papers too.
So what's your research paper on?
Well, it's all personal preference, but mine is like music, just general music stuff, backing tracks during live shows and stuff like that, looping vocals.
So I guess this is a different question. We talked about sports. Do you offer music at Tyburn?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we have a choir, middle school music theory classes, and then also a band.
And do either of you play instruments?
Yeah, I'm in band.
What do you play?
I'm a drummer.
Drummer
And I'm in choir.
and choir. There's a lot to talk about, and I hope you'll come back. 30
Yeah,
minutes goes very quickly. I know you have some fundraisers, so you, as we tend to talk about, you have a live auction. You also have your Dollars for Tyburn, which is a $10,000 prize.
$10,000 jackpot, yep.
And people can go to Tyburn's website to
Yes.
look that up.
If you go to our website, you can find information regarding the raffle and the auction. Actually, on our Facebook page, the auction will be starting this coming Sunday. So if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see we'll be posting about it, trying to get
Okay.
people to go. We'll do our part.
Thank you both for coming in on your break. This is really great. Junior Mary McGinn and sophomore Isaac Sabo. Good luck on your careers at Tyburn, but also in the future. You can always bring students back. We're always fine with that. So,
Oh, okay.
But they're two great guests. I do want to thank Connor O'Donnell, the principal at Tyburn, for joining us today with two of his students to talk about not only the school, but the recent trip to Rome. Did you all learn Italian for that? I should have asked.
Si.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Parlo Italiano. Yeah.
We'll be back on Thursday. Thank you both, all three of you, for your time. We'll be back on Thursday with two shows, we hope. The first one was with Monica Selvage of the Project HEAL program. We'll talk about the work they are doing to reduce overdoses in Cayuga County. We also hope to bring you Sarah Clee Hood, who is running for the Democratic nomination for the 22nd Congressional District, which is currently held by Brandon Williams, though it does not include Cayuga County, but under the new redistricting. She is running in a three-way primary. She has indicated an interest to come on, just as Mr. Slater did a few minutes ago. Her two opponents, Mr. Senator Mannion has said he is not able to participate, and Clemmy Harris has not responded to our invitation. So we hope to bring you that show, both of those shows on Thursday. We're going to take 2 weeks off. We'll be back on May 7th with our annual Auburn Enlarged School District Forum, where the candidates for the school board will be asked questions by Robert Harding of the Citizen, and I'll moderate. But you can send us your ideas for future guests or questions for guests, not for candidates. Those are all done by Mr. Harding, to cozguytho@aol.com. I'm Guy Cosentino for Cayuga Community College. We want to thank you for watching. Go look on Tyburn's website about their raffles, but otherwise we'll see you back here in the studio on Thursday.